Hey everyone, echohack here. Welcome in. It's so good to be back and it's so good to see you. Today we have the legendary aspects, unique items, and mythic unique items Maxroll update for you today for season 5. By the way, if you didn't know, I took some time off to take care of Gamer Waifu. She had a pretty major surgery, but she's doing amazing now. She's right over here. Anyway, let's get right into it. So I just got done updating the legendary aspects guide, the unique items guide, and mythic unique items guide. You might wonder what mythic unique items are. It's just a rename of the uber unique items that you're already familiar with, but there are some new details there about that. So we'll get into that here in a minute. The first thing you'll want to know about Season 5 is that there are a ton of new legendary aspects. There are a ton of new unique items. So you'll want to come into this article and check out all of the new items. You'll note here that we specifically call them out here with this new tag. And even if we have an update for a particular item, like maybe it got buffed or maybe it got nerfed, we have an update regardless of that. If this is your first time looking at this article, you'll also notice that we have the source and unlock columns here that will tell you how you can actually get that aspect. Some of these aspects, for example, are available from a dungeon, and you can go over here and click on the dungeon, see where it is, that sort of thing. Some of them might be available from the season journey. Now, we don't know all of the items that are going to be in the season journey. For example, this one is just a guess right now, but post-season launch will update that information as soon as possible. So if you want to go in here and grab any aspects, you can do that. Very, very important, if you didn't know already from Season 4, any aspects can be salvaged and put into the Codex of Power now. This is an update that they've been promising since BlizzCon of last year. So if you're new to Season 5, but you didn't play Season 4 for some reason, this is a super important update. It makes the game so much smoother. One last update from Season 4 that you might want to note here is that utility aspects have actually been broadened in terms of where they can be put. They can basically be put on any slot now. So that's super, super important. One other thing we did here with this article is right here at the top, you can go and you can look at any of the item types. So you can click on this and it'll take you straight to the place where that particular item type is talked about. So for example, unique items and mythic items, we have them sort of in their own article because there's just so many of them now. So let's take a look at the new unique and mythic items and the new mechanics here. So there are some new mechanics. So first of all, Uber uniques are now purple, and they're called mythic uniques, or mythics for short. So when they drop, you're going to get a nice purple beam from the sky. You're going to be able to get super hype instantly, instead of kind of wondering when you're killing Duriel or Andariel. You might go, oh, hey, is that unique good? And then you kind of hover over it and you put it in your inventory, and then it takes you like 10 seconds, and the hype kind of builds, and then you get disappointed because you don't get the uber unique. Now you can get hype instantly when you see the purple beam. Additionally, tormented bosses can now drop uber uniques or mythics at an increased rate. So you'll note here that tormented bosses now have 5 chances to drop a mythic item at 1.5% chance each. Ultimately, what this means is that there are going to be people who kill a tormented boss and you get multiple mythics at the same time. So you might see multiple purple beams on the screen at the same time, which is pretty wild. One other thing to note, this is an update from Season 4, is resplendent sparks. Okay, so what is resplendent sparks? These allow you to craft mythics. So for example, let's say that you want the Shaco, and you're just not getting it to drop from your tormented bosses, from Duriel and Andariel, that sort of thing. Well, what you can do is you can take, your 4 useless starless skies that you don't want, and you can salvage them. And when you salvage them, you'll get 1 resplendent spark per, and you'll be able to craft that into the mythic of your choice. Additionally, you get 1 resplendent spark for killing any boss in the boss ladder for the first time, and you also get 1 resplendent spark for completing the seasonal quest line. Not the quest line, but sort of like the seasonal, I don't know what to call it, like sort of like the loot grind, reputation grind, I believe might be the best way to say it. Anyway, you get 1 Resplendent Spark from that. So crafting mythics is actually a really important source for mythics. It may even be the first mythic that you get before you're able to get one from a drop. Now, if you go into the table here, you'll actually find a really handy column here called the target farm column. This is going to tell you where to get that particular unique. So for example, for the build that I'm going for Season 5, I really want Howl from Below. And where does Howl from Below drop? Well, the Beast in the Ice and Greg both drop it. So I'm going to be going probably to Greg ASAP and trying to get Howl from Below and hoping that I can really blast with that this season. So if you don't know where to grab it, you can grab it. Also to note, a lot of the new uniques this season, like the Crown of Lucian, Locrons, Arakanauts, probably Endurance Faith as well, but we haven't really confirmed this yet. These are target farmable from the new Infernal Hordes feature, from the chests that you get at the end of those. So there are certain, and that might be unique to this season. We'll see how Blizzard wants to do it for future seasons. One last thing to note is that there are just a ton of new uniques. So there are 5 new uniques available for all classes, and then each class got 2 new uniques. So that means that your build has 7 brand new uniques available to it. Also, not to mention, if you see this green update on every single item, they updated every single unique in the game, including mythics. So that means builds are going to change very much this season. And I would expect most builds to either be all uniques or be 90% uniques, because they're so strong. They got massively buffed. And there are a couple, like for example, the brand new Fists of Fate, that might actually be ludicrously broken. Anyway, that's all I had for you today. Thanks for tuning into this very quick guide. I'll see you live on Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter, and I'll see you next time. Peace.